If 265.3 grams of iron are reacting with 108 grams of water, according to the following chemical equation, which reactant would be in excess? By how many grams? And the reaction is 3 parts of iron reacting with 4 parts of water, producing Fe3O4 and 4 parts of hydrogen gas. Alright, where should we start? We're provided with 2 amounts. Amounts of iron and amount of water. Whenever you're given the amount of more than one reactant, have the bell ring in your head. This is a limiting reagent situation. Because the chance of the 2 compounds provided perfectly reacting with each other is next to nothing. And chances are one of them is going to be used up, the other one is going to have some leftover, and the reaction is going to stop at that point. Okay, in this case, well, we want to know between the 2 which one would be in excess, leftover, and how much of it would be leftover. And apparently the other one would be one that's completely used up, and that would be your limiting reagent. Okay, so how do we do that? Now, the way we tell the limiting reagent and the compound in excess apart is pretty simple. Let's use each reactant calculating to the same product and find out who produces the least amount of product. Which product are we going to use? Well, between Fe3O4 and H2, I think the choice is pretty simple. I'm going to go with H2, just simply because, well, its mole mass is easier to calculate. Alright, so if all of my iron are reacted, how much hydrogen can I make? And that should be 265.3 grams of iron, 55.85 grams per 1 mole, which 3 moles of iron would produce eventually 4 mole of H2 gas, and each 1 mole of H2 gas would be 2.016 grams. That's its mole mass. So you can see gram of iron cancel, mole of iron cancel, mole of hydrogen cancel. We ended up with gram of hydrogen, and that's going to give us 12.77 grams. Okay, similarly, let's think about water. If all water reacted, how much H2 would be made? So it's 108 grams of water, exact same setup, 18.02 grams of water for 1 mole, each 4 moles of water react with, produces 4 mole of H2 gas, and each 1 mole of H2 gas is 2.016 grams. So grams of water cancel, mole of water cancel, mole of hydrogen cancel. We got grams of hydrogen again. This is when I used up all the water. Suppose that I have enough iron to react with it. I should be getting, well, eventually 12.08 grams. And both of these 2 grams are hydrogen. Now let's see. What does these two numbers mean? Yeah. This means if all my, the first one means if all my iron reacted, that's of course given that I have enough water, I would eventually get 12.77 grams. And the second part says if all my 108 grams of water is consumed, I would end up with 12.08 grams of hydrogen. Compare the two numbers, 12.08 is smaller and is apparently the one that makes better sense. Why? All the water together, that's all you had, can give you 12.08 grams of hydrogen. Is there any possibility that you get more than that? No. You simply wouldn't have more water to do that. You can never get there. You needed more water. 108 is not going to cut for this number. So this is how much water, hydrogen you can get. And whoever gave you the smallest amount of products, that would be your limiting reagent. And that means your water here is your limiting reagent. In other words, we answered the first question. Iron would be the compound in excess. Alright, question number 2. By how much? Okay. How do we get that? Now, once you determine that water is your limiting reagent, that means iron is in excess. That means iron have leftover. How much of iron has reacted? We don't know. We know it's not 265.3. If I can find how much iron has reacted with all this water, well, the difference between the reacted and the original amount would be the amount of leftover. And can I calculate the amount of iron that's reacted? You bet. I already know I have 108 grams of water. And that's completely reacted. 18.02 grams of water, 1 mole of water, and they react with a 4 mole of water per 3 mole of iron ratio. Each 1 mole of iron is 55.85 grams. Grams of water cancel, mole of water cancel, mole of iron cancel, gram of iron. And carry out this calculation, you get 251.0 grams of iron. This is the iron reacted. Well, now, left over. I have 265.3 grams of iron. To begin with, I used 251.0 grams of iron along the way of the reaction. Well, I should be having 14.3 grams of iron left over. So to answer the question, iron is the reactant that in excess by 14.3 grams. 14.3 grams of iron would be left over.